Good morning, TikTok. Ed over here at FICM Repair. So this question comes in saying, "Hey, I killed my number 7 injector. My number 7 injector decided to bail on me, and I'm wondering if my FICM could have caused it. Can I send it in to see what's going on?" The answer is yes, of course you can. Now, I'll tell you, there's a whole lot of no right answers here, though. So do with this what you may. There are only two kind of FICMs, those that have failed and those that are in some process of failing. It does surprise me. Recognize this isn't our first or second rodeo, right? We've been doing this for a hot minute. Our test bench is astoundingly good, thanks to actually my son Mark, who works in the FICM repair business as my research and as our research and development tech, and dude's freaking brilliant. So he came up with this test bench that is far better at testing than installing a FICM in a truck ever could be, and I am just ridiculously proud of him. And so what we know is the truth of it, right? We know that hey, number 7 injector in this particular case died, and now you're wondering, man, I don't want to have to do this again. And you're right, you don't want to have to do this again. You can, by the way, you can ohm out your injector on the low side, on the closed side, and the open side, and you can see what kind of ohm numbers you're seeing to see, hey, did your injector did the coil fail electrically or did it not, or whatever. But just because a FICM has solid voltage, as is the case in this particular gentleman's commentary, doesn't mean that the FICM is good. There could be logic board issues, and so it's like, that caused this 100%. That's on the list of possibilities. Here's the bummer, though, and it's like, man, I don't know what you want to do about this, but it's just the case. As you might well imagine, not everyone is good about sending their FICMs back when they get a unit from us on exchange. Everyone says they'll do it, but not everybody does it, which is frustrating, but whatever. So to stay in business and to be able to help additional folks that need their truck and can't afford to be without it, we reasonably have relationships with a whole lot of boneyards and everything else to get FICM cores. And so a pallet comes in filled with FICMs, and we're like, okay, and these things came from, boneyards, right? And so you think about, how does a FICM end up at a boneyard? It's like, well, this truck was T-boned. This truck was rolled. This truck was, obviously it met a untimely death. And so this was a FICM that was driving in a truck, living its best little FICM life, and all of a sudden it's no longer because, well, someone, rear-ended you or whatever. And I hope your neck's okay, by the way. God's good, at least you walked away. But what's interesting to me is that you'd expect like 95% of these FICMs to be good. That come in on the pallets and have nothing wrong with them. In our experience, that's just not the case. Rather, what is the case is that 95% of them actually have a problem. And it's just like, that's so bizarre to me. But it's the way that it is. So unlike most places that just, repair the power board and call it a fix, which, by the way, is a short-term thing, especially as these trucks get older, what we've seen is folks that go to their local auto parts store or whatever and buy a power board for a couple $100, whatever the going rate is, they're coming back to us, 2 months, 3 months, a month, 6 months later with a U0105 code, lost communication with FICM. And it's just like, oh my goodness. So they just threw away that money, and now they're going to have to spend more. So we work on both sides. We work on the logic side. We work on the power side. We have 2 service levels. Our basic service level says, hey, what's wrong with this? Let's fix it. And our ultra service level, it comes with a 1-year warranty on the whole thing, by the way. And our ultra service level says, we don't care what's wrong with this. We're going to go ahead and, just kind of give a review and an update to all kinds of stuff that happens with these modules, whether it's low voltage FICMs, dies while driving FICMs, circuit low on individual injector FICMs, circuit low on all the injector FICMs, circuit high FICMs, lions and tigers and bears, oh my, dies while driving FICMs. You understand. There's a list of things that happen to these things. So while it's true to this original guy's question that you can send your FICM in to be tested, that test isn't free. It's a couple $100. And it's like, man, do I want to spend my money that way? I don't know. Do you? you can ship it on over, test, we'll test it and tell you what's going on. And if something's wrong with it, we'll tell you that. I got no issues, right? My need to sleep at night, our need to sleep at night far outweighs a few $100. So please understand that. The goal is not to sell you on anything. It's just to say, hey, here's how the world works. What do you want to do with it? But it is the case that the vast majority of the FICMs out there do indeed have a problem. And so if you want to push the magic reset button on life, you would go ahead and ship your FICM off to us or get one on exchange, as the case may be. Pay the $5.99 for our ultra service level, or, I guess it's another $75 on top of that for the ultra service level on exchange net. There's a conversation there we can talk about as far as net. Okay, to be clear, you're gonna pay $75 more for the privilege of doing an exchange. You're gonna pay $25 for a return and shipping label, and you're gonna pay $75 as a partial core charge to get your FICM back. The $25 that you're gonna spend on the return shipping label, well, that's about what you'd spend anyway to ship the thing to us. So you really can't call that a difference in price. That it's really $75 is, at the end of the day, that's the elevated cost you're going to spend to not be down. So if you can afford to be down, why give us $75 extra? Please don't do that. I mean, you just enjoy self-mutiny? Is that fun for you for some reason? Please don't. Save your money. Send your FICM in. We'll send you a repaired or remanufactured version of yours back to you. Or if we're really slammed, we'll just swap you out to a different one rather than have you incur some needless downtime. But we're going to have your module for a couple 3 days probably, and then we'll ship it back to you. Or if we're just slammed, we won't make you wait. We'll know that, oh, look at the queue here, it's pretty healthy, let's just pull one off the shelf for our guy and get him back on the road. But if you want to see what's going on, because curiosity lives with all of us, to say, hey, what is going on, you can have us do a diag and we will tell you. With our ultra service, by the way, recognize that we're not going to be able to tell you what was wrong with yours, because we don't care. We don't get it and test it and figure it out. We just get it, rip it apart, change out a bunch of crap, and put it back together and say, does it work now? And bolster some electronics and bolster some circuits in the process and whatnot. But we do work on the logic side. We do work on the power side. It's a holistic repair and off to the races. And we just came out with a new feature also. When you get a module from us, this connector that's on here, we give you a serviceable connector. But if you want a new one, we can get you one with a new one. There's just an upcharge for that. But what we get, what we'll send you is a functioning connector that's not, it's not the little tabs that are on the side, one here, one there, one here, one there, one here, one there. Those little tabs will be good. It'll lock in, it'll clip in good and everything else. But if you want a brand new connector, we can do that for you too. So I apologize for rambling, and I feel like I did some of that. It's just kind of a complicated question, and I'm answering it for a metric ton of you. So I figured I'd go ahead and do it this way. Recognize, though, one other thing, if you're still with me, maybe if you're still with me, comment alternator in the video. It's like, yep, they made it to 8 minutes. Sweet. But if you're still with me, if you have a FICM that failed, and it's got good voltage, but it killed an injector, recognize that 9 times out of 10, it's your alternator that caused that. So the voltage regulator in your alternator took a kerplunk on you, and here we are. And that's because the alternator is ridiculously too small for the application. It spends its whole life playing the little engine that could. I think I can, becomes I thought I could, and here we are with a problem. And so now it's just like, man, what do we want to do about this? And I don't know. What do you want to do about this? But it's interesting to me that so few FICMs, like 1 in 300 or so, that come to us for repair, come to us from VT365 International Motors, and the only difference is the size of the alternator. They put a bigger one up in there. And so it's like, things that make you go, And so I don't know if that makes you want to buy a replacement alternator from us that's more properly sized. If you live in a southern climate, look at our 185. If you live in a northern climate, look at our 240 with our deluxe cable kit, ideally. Maybe the 185 with just our interconnect cable kit. But that's the story, and I hope this helps. And what an unbelievably great question, and I hope you bought that replacement injector from us, or at least considered us in that process. So again, happy Friday to you. God loves you, and so do we. So and we're all in this together. So you need tech support, give us a shout, 515-897-4459. And outside of that, please understand, we're all in this together. Pay it forward, people. Take care. We'll see you. Bye-bye.